YouTube, I'm back with another video, and I wanted to talk about how this movie, How to Train Your Dragon, actually taught me how to train my own demons and actually how to train demons. Um Now, if you haven't seen this movie, this is a good movie to just go ahead and watch, and just chill and really watch a couple of times because it's really that good. And if you have watched this movie, hopefully, when I do, talk about what I talk about, maybe you can go back and probably pick at this movie with your own mindset and a little bit of my mindset and see what you come up with, right? Because we all have, this different mindset that can actually help all of us. But let me get into it. So in this movie, we see the dragon, his name is Toothless, and then we see this Viking, um his name is Hiccup, and Hiccup basically comes from a long lineage of Vikings, right? And really, just long story short, the Vikings don't really like messing with the dragons because basically they create chaos and things like that. So within this movie, the Vikings, they basically have like rituals for the younger people to become Vikings, right? They have like this training for you to become Vikings. And Hiccup is within this basically ritual, and he can't really basically go through with it because he's kind of like, he's not what his family expects him to be. He's not big. He doesn't have like, physical strength. He's not really skilled in the departments of fighting. And you can really see it through his testing to become, a Viking. So, in this movie, he goes along and he basically he captures this dragon, Toothless. And when he captures this dragon Toothless, he comes to this point where, he finally captures a dragon, and he takes out his knife and he's looking basically Toothless in the eyes. And he has this connection of empathy with Toothless. And, he gets to a point within his heart that he just can't kill this dragon. So the dragon is all wrapped up in ropes, and he releases the dragon from the ropes. And the dragon, after the dragon is released, Toothless, he kind of jumps up on Hiccup and kind of gives him a big dragon roar, and then runs off. But comes to find out that Toothless is actually, one of his wings are damaged. So basically, throughout this movie, you basically, especially in the first one, you basically get to see the development of Hiccup and Toothless relationship, where Hiccup, he uses his empathy to actually get to understand Hiccup. So basically, and what I mean, I meant Hiccup. I mean Toothless, because Toothless is the dragon. But we see this relationship form because Toothless is in some way scared of Hiccup because Toothless was severely damaged, right, by, the Vikings. So he already has like this mistrust inside of, Hiccup. Like, why are you coming towards me? And Hiccup kind of uses he has like, a fish, and he actually uses the fish to kind of bring each other closer, to kind of, show the dragon that, like, hey, like, I'm not a bad person. Like, here, have some of this fish. And after Hiccup gives the fish to Toothless, Toothless kind of vomits up half of the fish and gives half of it back to Hiccup to see if he's going to eat it. And he does eat within the exchange. And you kind of see that Toothless kind of comes to this like relief, and he actually starts to look like not more of a dragon, but then you can see in his eyes he starts to look more like this little puppy. So that's the beginning of their formation within their relationship. And I think I said his wing, but it's really his tail that was damaged. So within the movie, uh Toothless, Hiccup, he gets to basically, when he basically begins this bond with Toothless, he starts to understand the psychology of dragons. And like I said, he's not like his family where the Vikings are strong. So he starts to use more of, his empathy and his emotional connection with Toothless to understand the dragons. And he actually uses basically psychological ways to not defeat not to defeat the dragons, but actually to disarm them. And he comes to find out that these dragons are not, they're not what we think they are, right? They're not what we think they are. And I want to use this example on how this has helped me inside of my life, especially when dealing with my own demons and even demons inside of other people. And we have to really realize that not all demons are bad. And even the demons that you probably deal with, um most likely it's not for you to train that demon, but in some way you can plant seeds within that demon. And the thing is that you have to really realize that these demons, they have gifts of their own. And when you start to study demonic energy, which is really just negative energy, it has creative energy. It's a very creative energy. And if you actually watch the movie with Hiccup and Toothless, if you see um um Hiccup becomes very creative of how he starts to bond with the dragons. And like you'll see inside of, especially the first movie, everybody's like, when he goes back to his examinations to become a Viking, everybody's like, how did he disarm these dragons like that? Like, he's barely doing nothing, but he's using psychological and creating certain movements to be able to disarm the dragons while even touching them. And everybody is just like fascinated with it, because they're like, we haven't seen this before. And Hiccup is kind of hiding his secret because he doesn't want people to know that, like, he's not actually like hurting these dragons, right? But he's actually using techniques to actually just disarm them. And this is what I've learned inside of dealing with my own demons and dealing with demons inside of other people, is that you need to get to know them, right? You have to understand the only way that this world is actually going to get better is actually through demons, which people don't really realize, because um, they're the ones that are kind of like suffocating the earth, and they're the ones that are cut off from source energy. Now, when I'm talking, I'm not saying that like I I'm very well aware there are some very strong demonic forces. I'm not like stupid to, and it's not like I'm using like kid shows to blah blah blah. I The only reason why I use shows, and you'll see inside of my YouTube channel why I use shows, is because this is a part of my journey. I knew I had to go into negative energy, and I was very, very afraid at one point. But the thing is that you become creative and you can actually ask source to show you how you need to fight your fights, right? And how you need to battle your battles. And not every battle has to look like this crazy way. You can actually ask source to show you in your own way of how to digest this information. And when I was on my journey, especially my journey to healing, I asked source to show me um through my own eyes, cuz you know my heart. You know who I am and you know what I like. And one of my favorite things, I love movies. I love anime. I love all of these things. And it's crazy that a lot of the things that I needed to learn are in these freaking animes and they're in these cartoons. So this is a strategy of how Source showed me how to intertwine these energies, right? And like I said, I'm not stupid to certain demonic forces, right? But the thing is that I also want to talk about real quick, um, before leaving you guys, is that you have to realize that I'm coming to find out that you're not supposed to deal with all these demons, right? I do believe that within your soul tribe, you have to realize that within your soul family, there are people who are under demonic energies, right? So when you're interacting with this demon that's actually within your soul tribe, you will realize that you guys will probably have things in common. It's probably going to be very easy for you guys to interact. And it's going to be tough, but you guys are going to kind of have similar things that you're just like, whoa, what the hell? But you're going to be scared at the same time because you don't want this person around. And if you're like me, this is why it's very important when you're on your journey and learning how to set boundaries, learning how to learning more about yourself. Because when you're facing, when you're trying to help another person with demonic forces, and they're actually helping you as well, you have to learn your weaknesses. You need to learn how to pull back. You might have to learn how to like walk away. So the thing is that when you're going through your journey in life to heal and become your best version, you have to understand that you're not just becoming your best version, just, oh, and that's the crazy thing about it. When I was on this journey, I just set out to, I wanted to just become the best version of myself. But little did I know, I didn't know that within trying to find out the best version of myself, that um that I had a purpose and a job to actually do for this world. So I didn't know any of that until I was more deeper into it, and I'm like, oh shoot, like this is more than what I thought. And I'm not doing this for myself. I'm actually doing this for the world to become better. So, like I said, not every demonic energy is bad, but in not every demonic energy you should be playing with. But the thing is that you will you guys might have certain similarities. And you have to realize, this is why if you see the relationship between Toothless and Hiccup, they kind of have a symbiotic type of bond, right? They're very close together, and they share, because there's a part in the movie where Toothless, I mean Hiccup, he actually loses a leg, right? And he's kind of like Toothless in the way they share, in that both of them have like, Toothless has this tail that is cut off, and Hiccup has this leg that's cut off, and it's kind of a shared relationship. It's like a exchange for an exchange type of relationship, which is actually very beautiful. And if you even watch the movie Venom with their symbiotic relationship, it will tell you a lot of things. But this is just food for thought. I didn't want to talk too much. Hopefully, I shed some type of light on certain things. Maybe it will help you. But definitely watch this movie. You might have more to depict out of this movie than me. And I hope it helps you on your journey. But peace.